quests and trivia, lamps and balls. You are now tuned in to the Disney Holic Show.
Hello and welcome to the Disney Holic Show. That's Mike TV.
And that's Jen Diz.
Today we find ourselves in an emotional whirlwind with the Mouse Adventure Scavenger Hunt. Afterwards, we explore the magic of Pixar Fest at the Disneyland Resort. You know, I've done this little dance and boogie through our song so many times. I think I have like a choreographed dance at this point. I think I do the same thing every time.
A couple of pointer fingers, a couple shimmies. It's so good. You can't help it.
Shake it. Yeah.
Can't help it. I love a Trip Report episode, and you're still at Disneyland in Anaheim now. So this is like fresh baked.
There has been so many crazy things going on in my life. So one of them is that I was supposed to be moving down to this area. It's not happening right now because I have lost my job, and that's a whole thing. But this was supposed to be my last like big trip before I move. You know what I mean? Like I was gonna. So I made sure to book like a lot of time down here so that I could like have time to go apartment shopping and whatever else I needed to do before the big move. And now it's just like, well, now I just need to go to Disneyland and make myself happy. But that's still good. So I'm here for an entire week. But it was all based around an event, of course. Usually that's the case, right? And this was for the Mouse Adventure Scavenger Hunt. Now, we've talked about this, I know, recently on an episode. We've also talked it previously on our episodes in the past. We've done lots of our events throughout the years. But yeah, we just completed one yesterday, ? Was it just yesterday?
Sunday?
Yeah, we're recording this on Monday. The Mouse Adventure was on Sunday. I cannot record on Tuesday because I will be on a plane. Ooh. So recording a day early. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it was just yesterday. What a whirlwind it was, for sure. They named it the Emotional Whirlwind. They always have a theme. This time it was Pixar. Fit very well since Pixar Fest is going on. Yep. And it didn't, keep us only in the world of Pixar, but it did keep us in DCA. So we were in California Adventure all day long for the event. And yeah, I thought I would share a little bit about how it went and see your thoughts on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So first off, a complaint because it's me. That's what I do.
You got to start off with a complaint.
I've been here for a week and the weather has been just amazing. It's been like kind of overcast, cool. You can always kind of get away with a sweatshirt or not, like until late at night. Then you definitely need like a little sweatshirt. But it's been so nice, and I was so excited to have that happen during the scavenger hunt. Nope, that sun came out. The sun came out. I have a sunburn. I had sunscreen on and still got a sunburn.
It's like, where's the complaint? That sounds amazing. But just the day
it was amazing,
of Mouse
except for the 8 hours of the scavenger hunt. Like, what the heck? When I need it the most to not be stressed out and in like the sun.
And there's areas of DCA that are infamous for not having enough shade or cover.
It is so hot in that park. Easily 20 degrees hotter than Disneyland. I'm just saying. But anyway, it is what it is. Still had a blast. I had a few friends join me. I had shouts out to J Lass Jason played with me. Clocky sent from Disneyland played, and his friend joined us as well, Angela. So it was a team of 4 of us.
Great team, great crew.
Yes, very hardcore Disney-holics, which sometimes you would think would be a huge advantage, right? However, the Mouse Adventure is made so that anyone can play, which is pretty cool. I would like to use this weird like avenue of knowledge I have that's pretty useless to my advantage in something like this, but it just doesn't necessarily work for this because they make it so everyone can play, which is great. So it's still a lot of fun. I know I've said before that like one of my favorite things about it is getting to like see things and look at things and study things in the park that you may never take the time to look at or even notice. And there was a ton of that this time. So again, like
When you
It
say
was just really great.
that anybody can play, is that because it's like more puzzles and less like trivia?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, I like that. I like that. Sometimes the trivia and the facts get a little bit old.
Right. Yeah, I
Or
agree.
you could just Google it in 5 seconds.
Right, exactly, totally. Another great thing is that they do not allow phones, and they have a lot of their staff around the park. And if they see you with your credentials on, because you have you like lanyarded up and stuff, like if they see you using your phone, you'll get in some trouble.
Those influencers, that was probably like taking nicotine away from a smoker.
Like, I remember that being a thing previously, but I was like, I wonder if they're still going to have that rule, because phones today are very different than phones in 2018 even, right?
Yeah.
Like, we didn't need our phones as much as we do today. Like, it's
and the lives and all that. Yep.
Exactly. So I happily packed my phone away in my backpack for the full 8 hours, and I was like, oh, this is actually quite nice. I'm just like very, very happy with it. It actually wasn't 8 hours. Was it 9 to 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3? It's only 6 hours. I keep saying 8, but they had the ceremony later in the night. So maybe 8 hours I'll put together. But anyway. So there was lots of attributes of it that kept you really immersed in it and with your team and like having you guys work together. Puzzles, again, were super challenging but really fun. And lots of like cute smiles and waves at people that you could tell were also playing. Like, I love that fun. Like camaraderie kind of stuff, right? And tons of people coming up to us and saying, like, what is this? Like, what is this scavenger hunt? I see a lot of you playing and things. So much so that they even make these little cards that they give you before the scavenger hunt happens. That's like kind of a little promo card, like a business card size. But like you would think it'd be kind of like, oh, it's sales for them. But the brilliant part of it is that if you don't want people to interrupt you, you just hand them a card and it has all the information. And he's like, okay, bye. And then they get free promotion. And you don't have to stop and talk to a stranger for 10 minutes.
You're like, I'm in the Amazing Race right now. I don't have time, but I would love to talk about it.
This one woman said, it looks like you guys are in the Amazing Race. I was like, yeah, it's super cute. But yeah, exactly. It like worked really well. So we definitely needed to use those a few times. But let's see. Again, it was at the beginning of the day. We met at the end of the pedestrian ramp, which I'll leave this out. I don't know if this is...
What's the pedestrian ramp?
It was fine. I'm not sure. Huh?
What's the pedestrian ramp?
The pedestrian ramp is a walking ramp from the Pixar Palace parking structure, which is connected to the Mickey and Friends parking structure, down to downtown Disney. And then there's a bag check there.
Interesting. I haven't come through the garage or downtown Disney in a decade or so. So
right. Yeah. Especially you. Yeah. Every so often I'll drive and I end up at the parking garage, but most of the time, especially if you're traveling and you never need to even go over there.
Yeah.
So they built that whole new walkway. It's really nice and like drops you right into the downtown Disney. It's very safe for people, so you don't have to cross the street because it's kind of weird over there too. Which is nice. Good. Yeah, but we met at the end of the ramp there, and that's kind of how the day started. And my Uber driver, of course, was a Disney-holic. I love when that happens. And you get an Uber driver that's like got her Disney hat on and her Disney bumper stickers and all the things. And I told her, I put Pixar Palace parking structure because I didn't know like how to direct someone to drop me off as close as possible to walk to where I need to go. And she goes, well, tell me, where are you trying to get to? And I was like, I'm trying to get to the bottom of the pedestrian walkway. And she's like, oh, I could just take you right up to it. I was like, really? She goes, yeah, they allow Uber drop-offs. And I didn't realize that cast member parking lot, they still allow you to get dropped off there. And I was like, oh, I thought it was like strictly cast members, but it's not because the pedestrian ramp drops right
Was that once like just the downtown Disney parking lot?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I remember that. When I lived in LA, I would go down and you could watch like a movie for free parking. You get like 3 hours or something. Wow. So that's all gone, I'm assuming.
It's
there,
but it's
access
just,
to it to use it that way. Wow.
Yeah.
What a time.
Just cast member now. Yep. Okay. So she drove me like straight up to the ramp. And I was like, oh my gosh, I had been stressing out about it for like 3 days. Like where the easiest place to get dropped off and how to walk out that way. It just feels like you're not supposed to be going out. You're supposed to be coming in and just like a whole thing. So she hooked me up. I was very happy. I had to walk like 15 feet.
That reminds me of hot tip. If you're ever on a Disney cruise to Castaway Cay, the best part about booking a cabana is at the end, they will golf cart you all the way up, like literally to the ship. and you're just
Right.
driving by all the people walking in the hot sun. I was like,
Yeah.
wow, how far are they taking us all the way up?
That was amazing. That was definitely amazing. But yeah, it looks like, because all we did was when we pulled up to the little like ticket taker person or whatever, she just said like, this is an Uber drop off, and he's like, okay. So I'm like, assuming you can do normal Uber drop off there. I did not know that. So that's another tip. If somebody wants to avoid certain bag check areas, you can go through there. So anyways, that was cool. And then after our meetup, we kind of broke up into sections, got all the rules read, and then we were free to go. We're like, all right, the game has started. And then immediately you get stuck at bag check. We're like, I want to get going, but we all get in bag check.
It kicks off outside of bag check?
Yeah. Yep.
Got it.
So we're in bag check.
Were there a lot of players? What did it seem like, number-wise? Teams or
there was, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think they said there were 79 teams.
Wow.
I can't remember if that was just the basic edition, because there's basic and advanced. There's only like 10 in advanced or something like that. There wasn't that many.
Oh, wow.
And I'm so glad I didn't do it, because we didn't even complete the basic one. So it's hard. It's
These are hard.
challenging.
These are very hard.
Yes. But, I also was the only returning player. So sometimes when you haven't done certain types of puzzles before, like maybe, for me, it was even still super difficult, even though I'd seen some of the stuff they'd done before. It was still like so fresh that it seems all new anyway. So it was wild. So we get in there, we go to DCA, we look immediately in our packet, and they give you all the quests, most of the quests ahead of time. And so the first thing we did was we went through them, identified each area they're going to be in, and then we wrote on the top left corner of each quest which area, so then we could like have a strategic way of making our way through most effectively and going like there was quests that were worth like 50 points, some were only worth 30 points, and it's all by difficulty. Ooh. So we're like, Pixar Pier has 2, all the other areas only had 1, I believe. Pixar Pier has 2, it's all the way at the back of the park, and they're really high points, so let's go knock those out. So we go all the way back, and I'm just gonna tell you about this one puzzle because this is the first one we started off on, and it was wild. I'll tell you about the 2 Pixar ones actually. So we go back there, and they have you go to Jesse's Critter Carousel. Oh. And you have this like image. It almost looks like it's just like a circle with a bunch of circles within the circle and then a couple bars, and you're like, what is this? And I'm like, oh, that's the carousel. It's like identifying where each animal is on it.
Wow.
So you have it's just blank, right? And then they have then they have 2 or 3 sheets that are double-sided with pictures of the face only of all of the little creatures that are on the critter carousel. So you have to identify where each of them are seated on the carousel, and then like write them all in. And then they even had like fake ones on there. It's hard to explain, but they had ones that like aren't even belong, like red herrings. And so you're like, wait, I didn't use this one yet. And then you're like, oh, it's not even real. Like, oh my gosh. So it took a long time, but it was super fun. We came up with like 10 different ways to do it as we were doing it. We kept getting better and better and better. And then we finally completed it. And now you have all these crazy letters written on this circle that you've made. And then once you notice like there's a starting point, you can like wrap around like a spiral kind of. Oh. And it spells out like a sentence. So now it's a new question. It said like what... it said how many yellow-eyed creatures are on the back of the benches. So now you have to go back to the carousel. Oh, there's 2 benches on the carousel, and there's these creatures on the back that have yellow eyes. You have to count them.
Did you just watch it go round from the outside, or did you get on the actual
We did both. So we're like, they're going too fast. There's no way we can identify these right now. So like, why don't we just write it, and then we could like look backwards and look forward a few rows and like write them down, and then get off and go back on the other bench. So we wrote only once, and it still was just like too chaotic. So we had a bunch of different strategies. We kept like hopping around because it would always stop at the exact same point. So we would get those knocked out, then we go to the next point. Wait till it's slowed down.
Had you been
again.
On Jesse's Critter Carousel before?
No, actually.
I don't think I've ever been on it. Yeah. or the old one.
And all 4 of us sat together on the bench. Because there's also a rule that you can't split up. And you have to be at arm's length. So we were like, well, let's just all sit here crammed on this bench together. It was pretty cute.
Oh, wow.
There were quite a few moments that I wish I could have used my phone, because there have been some cute photo ops of our crazy team stuff we were doing. That would have been a fun one. like all with our like clipboards out, like being all serious, like not even smiling.
You know what I
we're,
wonder?
like, trying to focus.
If they'll allow next time an old school disposable camera. That would be fun.
I think they do.
Right? Because there's no
I think they would.
smartness to it. Yeah.
Someone on our team brought that up too. I think Jason brought that up.
That
or
could be
maybe
cute.
Clocky, but
Wait,
yeah,
I'll change it. They should provide you each with one as part of the
hey, there you
registration
go. Even
fee.
better. Right? Yeah, charge me an extra $15 on the ticket and just put it in my kit.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. That would be cute and that'd be fun. I guess there's Jason told me that they have now ones that have like USB connectors.
Oh.
So you can just download them.
Interesting. They're like a disposable digital camera.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Fascinating.
That's crazy. But that would be fun because then they could use that for their stuff too. Just like a wedding, right?
Promote it. Yeah.
You turn them back in and then you get all your photos and yep. So that was an example of one of the puzzles. It took us I don't know how long, at least 40 minutes, probably, I think. It was a long one, but it was the highest point hunt also, or quest. So like to be expected, right? It's like the highest one.
So you went for the highest one. Now I have a question for you that's related to Pixar Pier. So when you're playing Toy Story Mania, do you go for quantity of like 100 point balloons and things and plates and animals, or the like 1,000 point pterodactyl that's flying on the top, or the tiny little balloon in the corner?
I always go for the tiny little balloon or the pterodactyl.
Really? Okay, so you go for the high points.
It's also more challenging, right? Like the other ones just get kind of boring. You just shoot 1,100 point plates, or just shoot one of the crazy hard ones. However, your accuracy will be worse.
True. But you're right, the points might net out if you get that, if you hit it. And it is more satisfying because it seems harder.
It is. It is. Like if I'm shooting those 100s and I see the 2,000 fly by, I'm like, oh man, like, I want to go for that.
What am I doing in my life? The other one that's hard is...
What am I doing in my life?
Spider-Man.
Exactly.
That one's hard. It makes my arms hurt.
Yes.
Web slingers.
Oh, last time I went on Web Slingers, I got some insane score. I don't know what I did.
Oh, wow.
But I got like way higher than normal. Like probably over double what I normally get. Ooh. I don't know what I did differently, but it was an accident, whatever it was. Yeah. Oh my God, it was so funny. So anyways, that was a full day of puzzles. It was warm. However, it was still a ton of fun. I loved our group. We had another one, I Thought of You. Ooh. There was a puzzle that we did in Avengers Campus that was all about acronyms, your favorite. Oh, I love it. Yep. Yep. And they created acronyms out of things all over Avengers Campus. So it was like...
That's good.
Like on the trash cans, it says DODC. It's like Department of Damage Control. And so like you had to find that.
I love whoever created this puzzle because Marvel, specifically MCU, has so many acronyms. They love it. And Avengers Campus too, right? Like WEB, WEB, all these. I love it.
Yeah. There was a lot of them. That one we actually messed up. This is a funny folly for our team. The quests come as single page, or like, they're all individual pages, and some of them might have 2 or 3 pages to one quest. However, we didn't check, you're just like in chaos all day, right? Yeah. You're like working hard, your brain is fried, it's hot outside, like it's just like kind of crazy. And we didn't realize there was 2 pages to this quest. So we went through, we found all the acronyms, and then we bounced out. We were walking forever to find somewhere to like sit down and like, because you have to do all this other stuff to the puzzle after you've gotten the answers to that part. So we're like going to get a table and like figure it all out. And then we're like, this is just not making any sense. Like, why isn't this working? And then somebody was like, what is this? And we pull a whole nother sheet full of acronyms, like double-sided. We're like, oh my God, there's like a whole extra sheet. We're like, oh man. So that was funny. So it's another good tip for anything like this is to like bring a stapler or like paper clips or something to make sure you put those pages together at the beginning, or else it might get mashed up in the mix of things. Like, and it's literally chaos.
They're so difficult that you won't even know that matches with the superhero puzzle or something like that.
Right.
They're so
vague. Totally. Oof. Yeah. So it was pretty wild, but it was a ton of fun. We also had this cute moment. Oh, this is another great one. I like when they have you interact with people, so you're not just off with your team all day. I like when you actually meet up with like a volunteer and do something in person. I love those kind of aspects. And this one had a really cute one. They had us meet at the courtyard of the Hyperion, and they took you in a back into like this private area where nobody was standing. And one person on your team gets voluntold. We did this to Angela. Sorry, Angela. We're like, you get to draw, and it was Pictionary. It was Pixar Pictionary, or did they call it
Pixarnary?
Yeah, they had some kind of cool thing. I don't remember how they said it. And Pixarnary, I don't know. But she had to draw Pixar characters, and we had to guess them. So I thought that was super cute.
Oh, I like that. That's fun.
And we were supposed to, if we got 11 within 3 minutes, we won the highest thing. We only got to 9. Ooh. Shucks.
But then it's also up to the drawer volunteer, right?
It's on everyone. Yeah, it's a lot. A lot of pressure. So again, sorry, Angela. So,
I like that. And
but she did a way better job than me.
The heat just
I didn't even know half of them. There was one called Barley, I think is his name. Do you know who that is? Oh my God.
And I haven't liked that movie, but I know. I like Pixar enough that even the movies I haven't seen, I'm aware of. I still haven't seen Luca. It was in theaters recently, and I missed it. It came and went. I haven't seen it. Yeah.
It's a cute one. I've seen that one. I do love Pixar. I actually told the team this ahead of time. I was like, FYI, I am terrible at knowing the difference between Pixar and Disney. So, like, if you need to put me in check, or at some point I don't make any sense with what I'm talking about, just tell me. Because I don't know the difference.
Probably the one that most people mix up is Brave, because it's so Disney that it doesn't feel Pixar. And it was actually Pixar's first, and I think only like fairy tale type of story.
And wasn't it not even Pixar?
It was Pixar.
When it first came out? Was it?
Yeah, it was Pixar. But
I thought it had some weird story behind it.
She also had become the first non-Disney Disney princess, because it's Pixar. But I guess it's all the same. Random squirrel. I was just looking on Instagram, and Disneyland has just posted this like hype reel. They added it to their website on the corporate website when you click on the Disneyland bubble, and then it's also on Instagram. So it's obviously hinting at something that's coming to Disneyland, and Disneyland Forward has already been approved. And so it's basically a montage of 3 franchises, just 3 things. And it boasts like the highest grossing, biggest animated film of all time. And it keeps showing like Frozen 2. And then it says the highest grossing movie in the world of all time. And then it keeps showing Avatar. And then it says the most watched series of 2023 and Disney Plus. And it shows Mandalorian. So
what?
Yeah, the first 2, it's like, okay, Frozen, we obviously would like it or not. They're probably going to
get what they just put in Tokyo.
Yeah,
or whatever,
something
right?
like that. And then Avatar, they've been hinting at. But I was thrown off by Star Wars. Is there an extension coming? What's going on? But anyways, this is a squirrel within the squirrel. I'm distracting us. The reason I brought that up was because when I look at Avatar, anytime it's in a Disney promotion, it's just not Disney to me. It throws me off.
It's not.
It just pulls me out. And I feel weird that they even take credit for it, if that makes sense. It's like a double weird. Like, okay, that's separate.
When did Disney own Avatar? From the beginning?
Nope.
Only way later, right?
Yeah, way later after the Fox acquisition.
Even grosser. But I guess that's the same with Star Wars, but that fits for some reason.
Yeah, for some reason, exactly. Because the third clip is all Star Wars. I'm like, okay, that's Disney. Maybe because we had Star Tours, our generation. Star Wars always felt
there was a lot of Star Wars always.
Very natural, right? Avatar just seems like random. And I keep forgetting it's so
Plus,
popular.
Avatar is like for a long time, it was one movie and that was it.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing else Avatar.
Yeah. Like,
and then it was like
don't
old
wear
news too.
Avatar shirts and backpacks or anything. They're like trying to make it happen. That's what I'm thinking.
Right.
But anyways, that's going back to, is it Disney? Is it Pixar? It's funny because they own so many things now. It's just all the same.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Oh, man. Well, with that said, we finished up the puzzles. We finished up the hunt. It was a lot of fun. I I definitely want to play again. I'm excited to play next time it comes around. Maybe I can drag you back out for another one at some point.
Yeah.
And Nick and Joey, if they're listening, I'm going to pull them out at some point too.
Hey.
Heck of fun. We have to do it in person. So
that would be a good team because
we've
practiced online virtually.
Yeah, the four of us have played many times during COVID when it was only online, and we've never played one in person. So now that's back in the parks. I think that would be heck of fun. We should definitely do that. Yeah, it was a great time. The game wrapped up at 3, and then Jason, our team split up a little bit, and Jason and I went over and like had some lunch and just chilled, and we were like kind of being lazy, but we're just like hanging out and having good friend time, quality time. And then we wandered back over to Disneyland, and then the ceremony for them announcing the winners was at 6. So by then, we came back out to the picnic area on the side of Disneyland, or like, the Esplanade. And they got to announce the winners there, and it was really cute. So they started off by just like thanking everyone for coming and having fun with them and whatever. And they announced all their volunteers and gave them cheers. And then the very first thing they did, they're like, okay, we're going to start announcing the winners. And we have a team that are the trivia champs. There was 50 questions, and they got 45 of them right and blew everyone out of the water, all this stuff. And then they're like, that team is 4018, the Disneyholics. I was like,
wait, what? I'm looking for noises
here.
No
idea. So remember earlier you were talking about trivia?
I did not expect that.
Yep. So one kind of cool thing they have done in the past as well, they give you all these quests to do, but then they also give you a couple sheets of trivia. And these are great for like when you're waiting in a line or something. You could just like answer a few here and there. And this is where the Disneyholic side of us can really shine, right? Because this is now like you get to use your knowledge.
Yes.
Right? But it is completely separate from the quests. So you don't get scored. Like that doesn't help you out in the entire hunt. It's like a different win altogether.
I like that. It reminds me of, remember those highlights books when we were kids? There was like a different type of puzzle for everything. For every type of brain and thinker. I love it.
Yeah, exactly. So we had that. We got to win the trivia winners, which is awesome. And I'm curious if anybody knows Philander. I actually reached out to him anyway. I'll probably find out. But Philander is a guest relations VIP tour guide. He showed up at the beginning of Mouse Adventure, so now we were really curious to know if we beat Philander in trivia. I have to know.
Oh,
I don't know if he actually played or if he was just saying hi.
Oh, okay.
He was there for the meet, like at the beginning when everybody got their rules and stuff. So I don't know what he was doing. I didn't see him the whole rest of the day, but maybe we just didn't run into him. But now I need to know, because if I beat Philander, the VIP tour guide, I will feel very awesome. But nonetheless, we got first place, and that was super cool. So we got a little special pin for that, or button. And then they announced all the winners. And the crazy part was that, I can't remember the exact scores, but I'll just make something up. It was like third place got 351 points. Second place got 352 points, so only off by 1 point. And remember, these quests are like 50 points, 40 points. Like, there's some big chunks here, right? And then the last team won at like 357 or something. So it was only like 4 higher than the second and third place. Super, super close race. So I feel that if we had just even slightly done something different, we could have done a lot higher. But it's just, it's how it works out. But we got 20th place. Woo-hoo! So not super good, but not super bad.
20 is great. Top 20. You're in the top
20 out of either 80 or 90. I can't remember how many people played as far as the basic and advanced side, but yeah.
And
we got 20th
trivia
place.
Champs.
So.
That's 2.
And trivia champs. Yep. We still got to win. We got to take home with us. That was really cool. But yeah, thanks again to Mouse Planet and Mouse Adventure and Third Gate Games. It was tons of fun as always. I will definitely play again. And if any of you want to check it out, check out mouseadventure.com, and it's a really good time. Ooh. Whew. So that was the trip report on Mouse Adventure, which is only a tiny part of my trip. Now we're making our way over to Pixar Fest. Ooh. That's right, Luxo, lead the way. Thank you very much. I got to do a lot of pieces of the Pixar Fest while I was here, and I think it's really cute. First and foremost, like, I know there's like mixed reviews on it, but think I kind of like when something can be done to where the park doesn't feel completely overhauled, but there's like an addition to it, right? I kind of like that almost more so. Like when it's Christmas, it's like you're in Christmas town, Disneyland, right? And I don't mind that. That's I'm not going to even put that in the same category because Christmas at Disneyland is special. But like, you know, it just kind of feels like this is what you're doing the whole time you're here. Pixar Fest feels like I'm at Disneyland and there happens to be Pixar things here that are fun and extra. That's kind of how it felt to me. But they did start off by having this giant marquee in the center of the Esplanade, as well as in both of the parks in the general, like where you would have your photo op area inside the parks.
Oh, where the Mickey Pumpkinhead is during Halloween?
Yes, exactly. Yep. Or the Christmas trees or whatever. Yep. And these had to have been designed after the Tower of Four Winds. I remember I posted on our Instagram, like, does this remind anyone of anything? And so many people knew it. They're like, Tower of Four Winds. And if you don't know what that is a, what would you even call that thing? It was this massive mobile? What would you call that?
I don't know what that is. I didn't answer that one correctly.
Oh, okay. So it was a Rolly Crump piece of art. He's one of the old school Imagineers. It was at the World's Fair in 1964. It was this massive structure that had all these spinning things and different colors, and I don't even know how to explain it. It's very mid-century modern. Very, very mid-century modern looking, which follows a lot of Pixar
I love it. That's probably
anyways.
The best thing about Pixar Fest from watching and seeing online is reminding us how amazing their art design is. It always has been.
Yes.
Remember, like, even the credits of, like, Monsters, Inc. would be, like, Art Deco, mid-century like, so cool. And it seemed to come to life with Pixar Fest.
Right, yeah. They did, I think for that exactly, they did a really good job. A couple people were throwing a few complaints at it. One was that it doesn't light up, and I do wish it did light up or something. Okay. That was super weird, because that could be an easy win. Yeah. Like, just some lighting.
It'd be so pretty, yeah.
Like, I think they had, like, one light that would shine on it, and that was it. It wasn't, like, you know, because it was so pretty.
But, like, enjoy this during the day, really cool. And then Pixar Fest is done.
Yes, exactly. Just catch it during the day when the sun is out. Otherwise, good luck. But yeah, that was really cool to see. And the Tower of the Four Winds is a fun story too. If you guys haven't already heard this story, Bob Gurr tells it all the time. Is that it was like literally massive. I think it was like, I don't know, it was huge. And this is back in 1964, and he was telling the story that at the end of the World's Fair, they didn't know what to do with it, so they broke it into pieces and threw it in the ocean. Because that's just what you did in the 60s. They didn't like, what? Like, I don't know what to do with this, so we're just going to dispose of it.
Just throw it into the ocean. Is it down there somewhere?
It's a great big, beautiful tomorrow, like chucking it into the ocean.
I hope it created a nice little coral reef home for like a little Nemo family.
He always says that too at the end of his little speech about it. He's like, so if you want to go find some Disney collectibles, you can dive to the bottom of the lake or the Brooklyn Bay or whatever is over where that World's Fair was. Hilarious. But yeah, so it definitely reminds me of that, gives me that aesthetic, which is a cool way to start, giving that Pixar feel. They also have like the banners all the way down Main Street that have that, like the red, yellow, blue. It almost reminds me of Captain EO look, but it's very Pixar, right? And so it's just got the like colors all the way down the Buena Vista and Main Street side of things. It's just tasteful. It's not overkill, and it's just enough to where you like realize something's going on and it looks nice. So pretty. I am here for it. Very cute. But they had a lot of special things going on in both of the parks, and I'm going to go over those. So one thing, you know, I love the Disneyland Band and I love the Dapper Dans. Both the Disneyland Band and Dapper Dans have special medleys they do for Pixar. Ooh. So I've recorded those, and I will be sharing those on Instagram after this episode airs. Super fun, of course, and you get to just kind of hear the best of all the different Pixar songs. And then they had the playtime party at Fantasyland Theater, and this was something.
It was what?
It was something. It was something.
Would you say it was like for kids or? Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
fine.
So, they took over the whole Fantasyland Theater. They have like a little meet and greet area set up and a couple other photo ops down on the floor, but it was just kind of like a mess. That's what I didn't like about it, I think. There was like, they're kind of there was like a line for the meet and greet forming all the way across the entire dance floor. And then there was like little kids trying to dance also. And then they had the whole stage with the performers as well as like the characters out all dancing. The part I thought was really funny is that they had little mini stands, like little circle stands that all the characters stood on. So I'm like, are they like go-go dancers? Like that straight up like go-go dancer style. So I was joking around about that. Yeah. And it just like didn't seem like it was very well put together. It seemed like they were just kind of having fun with it, which isn't terrible. It's definitely like another space for people to hang out in and like get off the regular area for. So that was kind of nice too. I don't hate it. It just like didn't really do anything for me.
I get it.
And it was like the cutesy
Disney is
kid
always,
choreographed dance.
They're always so organized that when they're not, it's noticeable.
Yeah, I'm like, what is this mess, right? Yeah, totally. Totally. They also had the firework nighttime spectacular. Very pretty. Again, exactly what you would assume it to be. It felt kind of short. I don't really know if it actually was short or not, but it felt kind of short. But, they had the visuals, the projections, along with the fireworks that went along and played all the highlights from Pixar films. So exactly what you think. The Up House flies by during it.
Oh, is it super like cute. It's the Dumbo Tinkerbell?
Yes, yeah.
That is amazing. That is adorable.
Super, super cute, right? So that's the fireworks. And then along with the fireworks, this is not Pixar Fest, but I did get to see the Star Wars version, finally.
Nice.
They came out with this now in Batu. So I went over to Batu one of the nights. Since I've been here for a week, I was able to do it all. So I go over to Star Wars Land, which I said Star Wars Land, Galaxy's Edge, and watched what they call the Fire of the Rising Moons. Now, the part that I thought was interesting, I didn't fact check, but this is what me and my friends were talking about. They have had it during 3 different shows already, which means they have to re-choreograph the music and the lighting every single time they change the fireworks.
Interesting.
Right? Because it's not going to work the same. And everyone's saying that it's much better during Pixar Fest than it was the other 2. Because they had both Mickey's Mix Magic and the Wondrous, since they've brought in the new Star Wars.
Somewhere that it was supposed to start with Pixar Fest choreographed to Pixar Fest's fireworks pattern.
Oh.
So I'm wondering where I got that from, but that it's all making sense.
I thought there was only one also. So again, you might need to fact check me. This is just what people are telling me. I don't know. But
it seems to line up. If it looks nice with Pixar, that means now's the time to go check it out in Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, that's what we were saying. We're like, you know what? Since it only started recently, it would have only been a short amount of time for either of those 2 other shows. So they probably just threw it out there and then waited to put the energy into getting it right for Pixar Fest, right?
That makes sense.
So when you're in Batu and you watch these fireworks, it has nothing to do with Pixar. This is just, they know and they're owning the fact that people like watching fireworks from Galaxy's Edge, and they've now created a soundtrack to go along with it. I will say it is not perfect. However, I really thought about what it would take to take like composed music, like soundtrack music, and make it work with something that's already built for something entirely different. That is like impossible.
A fun challenge.
Like, just impossible.
Improv or something. It seems
Yeah.
Cool.
So there's a lot of weird points where there's kind of dead air, and like they'll still have music. This one they have music playing the whole time. I guess before they had a lot of dead air moments, but this one pretty much music the whole time. But there won't be fireworks, and they don't do any special projections. It's just kind of lighting.
Yeah.
So there's still, it feels kind of weird from what we expect out of Disney fireworks, right? The part that I can't remember who was mentioning this, but one of my friends, I think it was Fargo. She mentioned, she's like, I think Disney, if they hadn't mentioned that this is the new nighttime spectacular, blah, like this big deal about it, then people's expectations would have been lower and they would have been happy with having something versus nothing.
Yeah.
Versus them now being like, where's the this and where's the that? And how come it doesn't look like this?
Great just watching it from Galaxy's Edge without.
And now you get Star Wars music along with it, right? And this one's pretty themed. Like, there's this whole section of the Pixar Fest that's all red. So then they play the Duel of Fates during that part, great. You know, and get to hear, like, the dark side come out a bit of Star Wars. So yeah, I thought they did a good job. I realized how impossible it is, and I give them a lot more credit than I was thinking about before. This is just impossible. So I think if they had thrown some, like, vocals over some of the pieces that were kind of quiet and weird, I think that could have helped us as watchers.
Darth Vader and all that, yep.
Darth Vader, Leia, like, have some, like, vocals come in, or just, like, famous quotes or something, or something that's fitting for that moment. They also do that with all the other fireworks shows, right? So, like, I thought that could have helped it out a lot, but that would be my only critique, really.
It makes me think of, like, especially when TikTok first came out, you could basically do any type of 8 count, and most songs would go with it. And it would completely change the emotion of what's happening based on the song, but it's still the same 8 count. So in this case, like, the fireworks was the dancing, and then they had to figure out how to make a song go with it. Wow, that's cool. I want to see it even more so now to see how that worked out.
Yeah,
and see both of them, I guess, like, night after night. Back
it's really interesting because you can tell. I'm trying to think if I had known, or if I hadn't known, if I had just thought this was like a fireworks show they just did for the Star Wars area, if I would notice as much, or if I'm constantly realizing, okay, I wonder what part of the Pixar show this is.
Right, yeah. You can't help but do that, yeah.
Yeah. But I give them credit. I think it's a nice additive. It was, like, crowded in all sorts of different areas than normal for the fireworks. So, like, more people are coming to watch it, which is another people sucker, right? Get people into
sucker.
New areas. Spread them
out.
That's
suck
right.
Those people.
That's right. But nonetheless, a new experience to add to the trip, which is good. So that's over in Disneyland, what they're doing at Pixar Fest. And they're also doing a lot of stuff over at DCA. They have some character meet and greets out. I have not done those. I think I'm going to pass this time. But they have characters from Elemental, which I still have not seen.
What?
Fail. Have you seen it?
I saw it only because I was captive on the Disney cruise and it was playing in a theater. So I was like, I might as well go watch it. It was like 11 o'clock at night or something.
That's hilarious. Wait, did you see that with Nicole?
No, I was with... Actually, yeah. Wait, you're right.
I think so. I remember
the
you
trip
guys...
we were on, yep.
I didn't want to go because I was pretty tired and I wanted to do one more trivia. I'm like, trivia will keep me up. The movie, I'll just probably fall asleep, so I didn't go.
Oh, I remember being very tired now that you think about it. And I remember we snuck in a lot of really good stuff, like pizza and things from the upper deck, and snuck it into the theater.
Ooh, that sounds good right now, actually.
Mm-hmm. It was okay, the movie. It was all right.
Yeah. I feel like I would have watched it there if I had already seen it, but I hadn't yet, so I was like, I don't want to do it right now. But they have characters from Elemental, Wade and Ember. And then they also have the characters from Turning Red, the mom, and May. Like, she's half turned into a red panda. It's cute. Like, her tail's popped out and stuff. Okay. Yeah, it's very cute. So that was cool. They also had a similar... Actually, I'm going to talk about that last. They had the Better Together parade over there. So this is a new Pixar Fest parade, strictly for Pixar Fest. I would give it like if I was going to give it out of 10, I'd probably give it like a 6 or 7 out of 10. Like, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. It just, like, it wasn't, there was no wow moments. Like, there's not a single time where I was like, oh, that's so cool, or, oh, wow, look at that float, or how they do that. None of those at all the whole time. So, like, that drops it down a lot for me.
The crown jewel of Pixar Fest. Not at all.
No. What would I say the crown jewel was, though?
Maybe that mobile.
Maybe the fireworks. I don't know.
I like the mobile and the backstory to the wind pipes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually, it was the best for me because it made me think of something Disney history, so I'll take that too. But there's a few things I want to mention about the parade that I thought were pretty cool. One is inclusivity. We all know that Disney is very much on their inclusivity game. And I did notice there was a lot of performers of all shapes and sizes, which we haven't really seen in the past. So that was awesome. Also a lot of more like later in age people.
Oh, interesting.
Which you haven't seen either. Yep. You usually see like perfectly fit 22-year-olds or something. Yep. You know what I mean? Like that's like the perfect parade person. But you're seeing kind of all over the board now.
I mean, good for them. It looks so hard. Like the amount of stretching you have to do before you jump into one of those parades. Good for all of them.
Right. And they're finally realizing like, oh, everyone can do this. And there are people of all shapes and sizes that are good dancers too. So that was really cool to see that. Of course, the gender and the like nationalities and all that stuff is all over the board too. So they're just doing a great job with that kind of stuff, which I like seeing that. So that was really good.
Very Pixar also. Like I feel like they were onto it even before the Disney company was. Right?
Yeah. Right.
They would take risks with their animated characters and their movies. Love it.
Right. Yeah. I will say that the hardest part for me with the parade was the gaps. There was just like ridiculous gaps in between the floats.
I don't like
and the music didn't seem to mix well. Ooh. So like it's similar to Magic Happens where they have one song that plays the whole parade, but then they go in and out of their individual float songs. But nothing seemed to be mixing. Like it would all of a sudden be like a train wreck for like 10 seconds and then you'd be on this new song and it's like
a bad
I don't know what
DJ.
was going on, if that's just it was exactly. It was not cute. But the gaps are just really long. Like there was minutes in between each parade float. Like it would take I don't know, like 5 minutes till the next parade. Maybe not that long, but it felt forever. Like it was just like
that.
You would finish the parade float and then you'd be like, okay, what's next? And you kind of look and you can't even see anybody where the road bends, and then they start coming around the corner. You're like, oh man, I got to sit here and wait. They start looking at my phone or doing something else.
It's like
that's how long it would take.
Back in the end of times COVID days with the, what were they called? They would go by just one. Cavalcades.
Oh, cavalcades.
You're like, okay, I guess we should say, because I think there's another cavalcade in like 10 minutes.
Just kidding. Yeah. Nope. Yeah. So that part was rough. And I talked to a couple of my friends that I saw throughout the weekend, and they said they had the same problem. Because I was like, I wonder if it was just a bad day for the parade. I was at the end of the route also, so I'm like, maybe it got spaced out throughout the time of the parade. And they're like, no, it's been all of them. So it's just like, I don't know what's going on with that. They do have the Better Together song. And I'm wondering, do you know if that's from any of the... It sounds very Four Town. Like Phineas probably produced it.
Oh,
but like I don't know if it was already a song.
I don't know. I don't recognize that. I'm not sure.
Okay. Yeah. I need to find out because I'm curious. Yeah, it would be super cute. Like Magic Happens, right? Is its own track for the parade. And that's the one that kind of blends in and out of all the different songs, just not very well. But yeah, you have all the different Pixar floats come through, and they have their song from their movie, right? One thing I was kind of surprised, the Inside Out float was real tiny. It wasn't anything spectacular. I'm like, oh, they got the new movie coming out. That should be like the big bang right now.
I thought it would
for the parade. It was just like joy and sadness on a radio flyer wagon, and then it had like the brooms with the rainbows shooting out, like Bing Bong, right? Like the magic.
Oh.
And that was it. It was just like a little, like there weren't any big grand floats. The biggest float was the one with Four Town on it, which was kind of cute to see. Four Town.
Like a live boy band singing.
Yeah, like live actors.
Please tell me there was Wall-E representation in this parade. Oh, Wall-E.
Was there Wall-E in this parade?
Wall-E.
Shoot, I can't remember if there was a Wall-E float or not.
I did see him in the mobile and was pleased to see him.
Yes.
Like almost front and center.
There's a lot of him around Pixar Fest in general, but I feel bad, but I can't remember if it was in the parade or not.
Well, not a very memorable.
It definitely didn't stand out if it was, right? Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I would have liked to see a little bit more out of that, especially for the Inside Out stuff. I thought they could have just, and that's normal for Disney to take advantage of promotional material.
Inside Out too, coming
right?
to show the new characters, the new emotions,
right?
all of that. Yep.
Totally, and they could have had like I think it's coming out while the fest is still going on. So like perhaps, they should be promoting it hard right now. So I don't know. That's just me having no idea what I'm talking about and giving unsolicited feedback. But there it is.
Hey, we are the audience. We can dictate what we think.
That's right.
The armchair Imagineer, their marketing campaigns.
Right. Oh my God. And then lastly in DCA, they had Club Pixar, which was almost identical to what they're doing in the Fantasyland Theater with the Playtime Party, Pixar Playtime Party or whatever. But at nighttime, so this is over in the area where they would, in Hollywood Backlot, where they would normally do like Electronica or Mad Hatter. But it was like super weak sauce. So
that seems to be a consistent fan review feedback.
Yeah, it was like, don't call it Club Pixar, do it at nighttime, and then have it be just super corny. Like, that to me was weird. Like, there's a way that you can make something for all ages without it being like, hey, kids, we're going to, in 1 and 2. Like, there's ways to make it cooler or just have people dance and have music or something. You know what I mean? It was just like even what they would do over at Tomorrowland Theater or at Tomorrowland Terrace.
That's what it sounds like. But I think we're the only adults, and then there's all these little kids. But
Tomorrowland Terrace felt even better because they would have those sessions where you could just dance with the characters out.
Oh, yeah,
like,
right.
That would have been cool.
In between the, like, jazzercise.
But instead it was just the jazzercise. Exactly.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, that was bad because, like you said, Club Pixar makes it sound like nightclub. They might not have meant that. And then it's at nighttime in Hollywood Backlot, and we're all used to there being the New Year's party there and then all those other parties that you said. So weird, very weird. Okay.
It was weird. They also had so they had the dancers on the stage teaching to dance, and then they had a DJ that was up in the sky. I'm not even kidding. It was like off to the right of the stage and like 3 stories high. It was just like a random DJ booth. And I was like, what are they doing way up there? Like, I didn't even see them until Clocky pointed her out. And I was like, and I like went and filmed her, and she's like pointing at me like, yeah, but she's probably like, finally somebody sees me up here.
I can't even think of how that could go with any theme.
Like, why was Pixar. She up there? I don't know. It was like very high, and you couldn't really see her from where you're standing unless you happened to like look up and to the right. Like, it was very weird.
Did they have those pop-up bars with liquor?
They just had the regular one. They they have the refreshments.
Yeah.
Section back there, they had the bar there. I don't think they had anything else.
Interesting. Okay, so they definitely didn't mean for it to be at all like the other parties. They just
right, no, and they didn't do anything on Hollywood Boulevard like they used to have the pop-up bars all down Hollywood Boulevard and stuff. They didn't do that. Wow. It was all in the backlot area. They had some like Pixar ball. What are those called? Not Joy-Cons. What's the word I'm looking for? Globos or whatever on the ground. You know, they like shine the light on the ground.
Gobos.
Like
Gobos.
Gobos.
I love that word. Yeah. Like when you open your Mercedes-Benz door and it's like on the
ground. It like shoots it on the ground. Exactly. So they had some of the Pixar balls floating around, and then that was really it. And the part that was hard about it was that Club Pixar thing was so designated to that stage, and that stage is kind of like pushed back a little bit, and it's under an awning or like a roof or whatever. And so it feels like that space is meant for that. And now you come out of it and there's like nothing to do. Which is like dark. And so it's just kind of weird. However, they did have something that was very cute. And this is this is, what did you call it earlier?
The crown jewel of Pixar Fest.
Crown jewel of Pixar Fest, which a lot of you are probably going to roll your eyes out, but I really liked it. So they had this area over to the side, on the side of one of the hangars, which used to be where you could meet Captain Marvel. It used to be Flynn's Arcade. Do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. That big hangar on the side. They set up a giant screen, and they had this really cute signage with like the dot, like the little individual lights that have an arrow shape and like kind of go bloop, 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 bloop down with the arrow. Uh-huh. And it was called the Drive-In, the Pixar Spark Shorts Drive-In or something like that. Oh. And then they had a bunch of the classic car pieces out there that looked just like the Sci-Fi Dine-In in Disney World.
Of it. Wow, okay.
Yep, and you could sit, and they had tables in between, so you could also like bring food over there and have a seat, and they had food booths like they normally do in that area, like the truck is right there and stuff. But you could go and sit and have a meal or a drink and like just kick back and watch Pixar shorts, and it was actually really cool. Like, I was like, I could just sit here for a couple hours. It was so nice. And the weather was also perfect, which made it like really cute. It's like, it was a beautiful night. Weather was great. And I'm just like kicking back in this old classic car.
Oh, I like watching. That. It's also very like California. It's good.
Totally. Nice. And it also very like mid-century modern era, right? Like there's all that fitting stuff that works with Pixar. So it's super cute. And so that's my crown jewel. I think that was the cutest area for me.
And very unexpected.
You can't even do it during the daytime.
I hadn't even thought about anything like that.
Yeah, that was pretty
nice surprise.
Like that probably didn't cost them a lot of money, and it didn't take up a lot of space, and they could just like pop it over there and have something extra to do. And I just thought it was a really good idea. So I liked that a lot. That was very cute.
I think they should turn that big warehouse next to that into Sci-Fi Dine-In, Pixar Spark Shorts, whatever.
They should. That's
nice.
right, because the Sci-Fi Dine's all shorts too, right?
Yeah.
It's all like
just like while you're eating
weird
type
Disney
of thing.
sci-fi stuff. Yeah. Ooh, I like that. I actually love that. They should.
And then that way they can save Monsters, Inc. I don't know if I'm the only one, but I would hate if they tore that down.
I know. I'm so like 50-50 on it, because if it could like be something, the whole area could be something really cool, I would be for it. But like, man, that ride is really cute.
It's just like
and I do
in
still
the middle
go on
of
it
nowhere. It's just there.
Yeah.
Monsteropolis.
The only reason I don't go on it every single time is because it's like I forget about it. It's like literally like in the middle of nowhere. I also never go on Winnie the Pooh. I would go on Winnie the Pooh if it was like in Fantasyland or something.
In the center, like, totally.
It's just so far out of the way. But yeah, I actually just realized I lied to you and said that was my crown jewel, because I actually have something else that's a crown jewel for sure. So I've had 3 of these 2 faux crown jewels so far. And now here's the real one. So for Pixar Fest, they hid 50 Pizza Planet trucks all around the resort, right? It sounds like whatever. Like you're probably, what I immediately thought of was like, it's going to be like the Easter egg hunt, which I've never gotten into. Like, it's like, okay, whatever. There's a bunch of Easter eggs. You got to find them. It's cute, whatever. But this is 50 Pizza Planet trucks. So I was like, okay, you got to find this 50 Pizza Planet trucks.
That's a lot.
50. And they did it recently. We were just, Jason was talking about that, and we were trying to remember, they hid 50 of something in Small World. Do you remember what it was? It was very recent.
What?
And I already forgot what it was.
No, I only remember Disney World 50 statues, but...
Oh, yeah, that too. 50 is
but they did cheat with that one at Magic Kingdom, or at Disney World, because there'd be like two characters on one gold statue.
That was tacky.
Cheaters.
That was tacky. Cheaters. 7 dwarves are all together on a small one. Like,
yes,
7.
Knock
it out. Yeah, I still can't remember what it was. There was something that you had to go find in Small World. But anyway, they had 50 Pizza Planet trucks, and this was the coolest thing, because somebody, first of all, this is their job, which I'm super envious of, especially because I do not have a job right now. It's like, man, this would be the best job ever. They took 50 Pizza Planet trucks, all exactly the same size and same exact truck, and they got to hide them around the park, and each of them are themed, which makes it a million times cooler. I thought it was just going to be the yellow pizza truck just kind of hidden somewhere, but no, they're like fully themed out. Do you want me to tell you about a couple of them, or is it a spoiler? Okay, so anybody who doesn't want to listen, it's probably the last thing that I need to talk about. But anyways, one of them, the first thing that pops in my head was at Bengal Barbecue. Now, if you were to find a Pizza Planet truck in Bengal Barbecue, what would you expect to see it look like?
A tiger, because the yellow, maybe?
So you think they might paint it like tiger color stripes or something?
Yeah.
And hide it? That's a good guess. It's not what they did, but that's a good guess. I like it. It's still themed. This one was really hard to find. In fact, I don't even think I think I only found it because I saw someone taking a photo of it.
Ooh.
So like I didn't even know it was there, but I was looking for it. This is hung from the ceiling along with other meats that are hung from the ceiling. And it's charred completely black, like it's been burnt to a crisp.
It's just a burnt truck. That's clever. Yeah, they had a lot of fun with that, it sounds like.
Yeah, they did. So much fun. We saw another one in Guardians of the Galaxy. This was only in one of the cute pre-show rooms. So if you go in the wrong pre-show, you don't even get to see it. So you have to get the right one. Hints for any of those are going and want to catch it. It's in the one on the left. So just ask them to put you on the one to the left. And this one's super cool. It's painted purple. And it has lightning bolts shooting out of it. And on the back of it, it says E equals MC squared. Why do you think it looks like that?
Okay, I have a lot of things to say. First of all, so are these like those vinylmation type of things? So it's the shape and a blank canvas of the truck, and then they paint over it?
This is like, expect if you were to walk in a World of Disney and want to buy your kid a toy truck that they can play with of Pizza Planet.
Oh, okay.
That they would actually play with.
Yeah.
So it's pretty big. Yeah. It's probably like, I don't know, like 15 inches wide or long by like 10 inches wide and 10 or 12 inches tall or something. It's like pretty bulky.
And like then they put their own design on it for where it's hidden.
Yes.
Okay, so E equals MC squared and purple. So E equals MC squared is one of the formulas that floats around in the black and white Twilight Zone intro, right?
Yes.
Purple, I don't know. I'm not sure.
I think that's also, I don't actually know.
It's a nice, like, spooky
Twilight
color.
Zone-y, but yeah. And it's got the lightning bolts shooting out. And then in the rearview mirror, they have a Do Not Disturb sign hanging from Tower of Terror.
Ooh, that's so smart.
And they have a poster in the seat of the Tip Top Club.
Oh, wow.
So it's a full-on nod to Tower of Terror, hidden in Guardians of the Galaxy. As a Pizza Planet truck, it's like triple.
And super just cool. For like the handful of people who will notice it.
Like yes, it's like one of the, that's the collector's room, so there's like things everywhere, and it's just like just put in one of the shelves.
That's so cool. That's
so cool. I love that one.
One more at least. These are cool.
Yes, one more. This was my favorite by far. This one was in the Adventureland treehouse. And you walk up it, which is beautiful, you guys. If you guys are
I haven't seen it.
Walking up it.
The new one.
It's gorgeous. At nighttime, make sure you go at nighttime. It's just like prettier, and everything is prettier from up there when you have your view as well. But, I mean, daytime's cool too. But nighttime is just the right magical to me. It is. It's just something about it. But you get up to... Oh, and also I wanted to mention, like, for some reason, it's easier, at least me and a few of my other friends' opinions, to walk this treehouse. I don't know if they have, like, more flat areas than it used to.
Compared to Tarzan.
Yeah, like sometimes I'd be like out of breath, like going up all the stairs. This one, it doesn't happen.
I was about to agree with you. I thought you were going to say it's easier to walk up during the nighttime.
Oh, that too. It's also not hot.
Right, but yeah, there's something about it.
There's less people. Yeah.
There's like a breeze.
I think they built in more flat areas or something, or more to look at, so you're stopping more often. I don't know what it is, but like I didn't run out of breath or get tired or say like, oh, I don't want to do that again. It was just like easier. I don't know how that happens.
Like more like vistas and accessible areas.
Yes. But when you get to the music room where they're playing the Swiss Kapolka, right? In that one room with the big organ and all the different instruments around, it's very like much so a music room. If you're looking very closely, you may miss this one because it's very cool. They have taken the Pizza Planet truck, painted it brown, cut it in half, and put an accordion body in the middle of it. And then a keyboard on the hood. So it looks like an accordion, but when you pay attention, you can tell it's a Pizza Planet truck. It's so cool.
That's very cool. That is very
cool. Yeah.
I agree that from a listener's perspective, this 50 truck thing, crown jewel, for sure.
Yes. Right?
It's like, and they had so much creativity. They actually did something cool with it.
It's not just, it's very creative. They also don't the thing that I don't like about the Easter eggs is that they're just like blaringly obvious once you see them, and they don't match anything around them. Do you know
they're not very hidden. They're just, you just have to look for them, but they're not hidden. You
just have to look up, essentially, usually.
I like this because it mixes Pixar with Disneyland itself.
That too. Yeah. That too. And it is very hidden because it's themed, so it doesn't hurt your eyes to find a yellow Pizza Planet truck in the Swiss Family Robinson section. You know what I mean? Like it makes sense to me that these
almost sounds like they could leave maybe a dozen in after the Pixar Fest.
Right, yeah. People wouldn't even notice them.
Especially the collector Twilight Zone Guardians Tower one.
They should leave that one because maybe he collected it. Right?
See?
I would collect it. I would keep that thing if they gave it to me. But yeah, it was very, very cool, and I don't know. That is it. I'm glad that you have the same opinion on the crown jewel as I do.
Yes.
That was super, super cool.
I would say if Disneyland was closer and I could get to there quicker, this convinced me enough to make a visit to see Pixar Fest.
Ooh,
yeah, as a Pixar fan,
closer.
if I live closer, like if it was accessible.
I got all excited for a minute. I was like, when are you going?
It seems so cute and colorful, and like you said, not over the top, and plenty of stuff for people who have been watching the Pixar movies, and you get to see things.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
I don't want to leave us hanging. I found out, according to the internet, Small World Facade, the white and gold at the time, during the 50th of Disneyland, had 50 hidden Mickeys on the facade. I don't know if that's what you're talking about, but that's what I found so far.
No, this was like recent.
Oh, interesting.
Like within a year or something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
This one I didn't even remember.
Gosh. I can't believe I can't remember what it was. Especially because there were so many of them. And we kept getting excited when we catch them all. Oh my God, what was it? I just can't remember. I don't know.
Someone out there, what other catch me if you can find collectible things hidden around the parks did we have recently, aside from the statues at Disney World and the Pixar trucks right now at Pixar Fest?
Right. And there are lists online that tell you where the trucks are. I would suggest looking up, because I don't think they tell you anything at Disneyland. They just say there's 50 Pixar trucks hidden, and that's it. But or Pizza Planet trucks. But if you look online, you can get the list of where essentially they are. Like this one's in the tree house, and it doesn't tell you. You can like find other lists that tells you exactly where to look. But I like the one that's kind of in the middle, so you can still like go to try to find it yourself.
Yeah.
But I would suggest doing that one, because just like having no idea where it is will just have you like over searching all day. And
it seems cute enough that
just the middle one.
You want to see them. It's almost like an art piece, it sounds like.
Yeah, honestly. I'll put a couple up on Instagram after this episode airs as well, so you guys can see them. But super fun. And I'm going back again tomorrow, one last day before I fly out in the evening. So I'll be back, and I'll try to catch a couple more of them as well while I'm there. So cute. Maybe we'll find some other cool ones. Yeah. Well, thank you all for coming along on my trip report. This trip has been pretty wild. I'm exhausted. Let me tell you, I'm going to get home and do nothing for a little bit. But it's been a week in Disneyland doing Mouse Adventure Scavenger Hunt and Pixar Fest and all the other amazing things in Disneyland.
Well, thank you all for listening. We hope you enjoyed episode 190 of the Disneyholics Show.
Follow us on social media at the Disneyholics.
And if you want to get in touch, send us a DM on Instagram or contact us at thedisneyholics.com. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
really want to go to Disneyland.